There's a particular HOA in Kendall called the Hammocks, and it got a lot of attention over the past year due to allegations of massive fraud and theft by its directors. And a receiver was appointed by the court to recover some of the assets that were stolen. And in fact, the receiver did recover millions of dollars for the owners. And it was a wild scene over there. That's all I could say.
5 directors were arrested, right?
Yeah, 5 directors were actually arrested. And here's a quote from the receiver. The modus operandi of the ex-board, was secret meetings, and it kept its ironclad grip on the HOA by hijacking its elections while working with insider vendors and in-house consultants that played a role in the scheme, called it a scheme.
Well, this is the thing when government thinks that they don't want to listen to the constituents anymore.
Yes.
And they take over and they just block you out?
This was even worse than that. This was all insiders. You know, the allegations are, you know, like you said, 5 were arrested.
Yeah.
So you know what the allegations were. And it gets worse, but before the receiver actually came in, listen to this one. The Dade County State Attorney's Office was investigating it.
Thank God.
They get involved in the case, and the chief detective that was investigating the case, and I watched him testify in Tallahassee. What does he say? He tried to serve subpoenas on the association to get records, to get all these records.
Right.
And
so what happened? I mean, did the association, what they do with the subpoenas?
You ready?
Which they were served with.
This was crazy. It's alleged that they didn't do what they were supposed to do and just turn over the records. You would think state attorney's office serves a subpoena on you, you're going to turn over the records, right?
If you're an HOA, do you have to have it on a website?
Do now.
No, you do now, but not then. Okay.
Just wait. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But you would think you're sitting there, you're on a board, you get served with a subpoena from the state attorney's office. You think you're just going to turn them over. But in fact, the opposite happened, according to what you read. And the association tried to quash the subpoenas by having a lawsuit filed against the state attorney's office in federal court. And they were claiming that they were being harassed. And that's how, you know, crazy things got.
Well, that's just going to postpone
at
things.
The Hammocks, right. That's what you would think. Exactly.
So have you ever heard of anything like this?
I never did. I never heard of, you know, in court, you have situations where, you know, you contest subpoenas. That's common. I never heard of fighting subpoenas against the state attorney's office by filing actions in federal court. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying I never heard it before.
You used to be their attorney, not anymore. So this is their new attorney that's advising them to do this?
This came in after me. This came in.
Why would this attorney advise it?
I will tell you that.
And did he know or she know they were doing all this?
I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. You know, I don't know. What I do know is it's unusual. I never saw fighting the state attorney's office to get to the record. You know, but yes, I was the attorney. You know, there's allegations here that they were stealing the elections, right? I will tell you what I do know about the elections. They had what's called fractional voting, and there's like 2,500 homes, right? So it's not everybody gets one vote, from what I remember. It was this home gets 0.365972 of a vote, and the next house gets 0.62. It was really, really difficult to do the elections, and I remember walking out of there like 3, 4 in the morning. It was crazy, and it was very difficult, but at the time, that's how we did it. You know, that's all I can tell you. But
so if this is all going on, shouldn't the onus be on the attorney?
I'm not going to say the attorney did anything wrong. I have no idea what happened there. I wasn't there, and all I'm telling you is there was fighting against the state attorney's office rather than just turn up. But the allegation is also we turned over thousands of records, and at some point it became abusive. That's what I do know. So they fought these subpoenas in federal court, and the Florida legislature heard from the chief detective in this case, who obviously was aggravated that these records were not turned over. So as a result, here's the law that was just passed. You ready?
So
as a result,
this is the reason.
Yeah, this came out of Kendall, no doubt. I watched the hearings. If an association receives a subpoena for records from a law enforcement agency, the association must provide a copy of such records or otherwise make the records available for inspection and copying to a law enforcement agency within 5 business days after receipt of the subpoena, unless otherwise specified by the law enforcement agency or subpoena. An association must assist a law enforcement agency in its investigation to the extent permissible by law. So now look what that said. Not only do you have to turn over the records, think about that, right? That's a given, 5 days. But look at the last sentence. An association must assist a law enforcement agency in its investigation. That's a pretty significant sentence. What does that mean? Everybody else on the board, you got to sit down and assist in the investigation.
Those who are not arrested
Those
need to assist.
right. Those who are not arrested, must assist. Those who are arrested, they have the Fifth Amendment right.
Right.
No question about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, it's clear that the association has an obligation to assist in a criminal investigation with this. So, the association's attorney, as I've been bringing up, does the attorney have an obligation to assist in the criminal investigation? If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
What is that?
I'll say this. That's been asked of me.
Can you pierce attorney-client privilege?
No, of course not. No. But does an attorney have the obligation to assist? I always get these
have the crime
questions.
fraud exception.
Right. That's correct. If you know that they are about to engage in a crime, you're right. But I'm asked all the time, well, who does the attorney represent? Does the attorney represent the people on the board, or does the attorney represent the association, right? So if the attorney knows that there's investigation going on because people might have stolen from the association, what does that attorney owe? The attorney owes a duty to the association, I think, to assist in that investigation. Absolutely. That's your client.
Yeah.
Your client is the association. So if your client was potentially stolen from, there's no question you should assist and try to get the funds back. Try to get the money back for the people.
What if the 5 board members who were arrested flip on the attorney and say he knew or she knew all about it?
Things like that happen. Absolutely, things like that can happen.
Oh my God!
Yeah, attorneys.
What a nightmare.
Attorneys have gone down before too. But again, the attorney doesn't represent the members of the board. The attorney represents the association. I'm asked that all the time.
Okay.
The corporation. So if someone is stealing,
but the board asks your opinion.
Of course. But if the attorney is stealing from if someone is stealing from the association, that attorney has an obligation, certainly in my eyes, to assist the police. Definitely, because he has an obligation to the corporation.
How much money did they take?
It's alleged millions. It's alleged millions. Right. I don't know. But hey, let's see what our listeners think. How do you like a law that requires the association, requires the attorney to cooperate with the police investigation and turn over records?